Всем привет, с вами я, Рока, и сегодня мы будем играть в Genshin Impact. Всем привет, с вами я, Рока. Все, звук работает. Извините.
You seem tired. Would you like some tea? I'll brew you some. Do you take sugar? 1 cube or 2? Whenever you need me, I'll be there. Leave it to me. All of it. Whatever it is. What exactly is it? I didn't quite catch your request.
Извините, мне позвонили. Так вот, мы будем продолжать играть в Гоп Инфаркт. Ни хера не помню, где мы остановились в прошлый раз. Мы остановились на том, что мы крутили баннер Хутау, и нихуя не выпало. Я немножко еще покрутил, мне выпала еще одна сяо на телефоне. Это я играл отдельно, потому что был в отъезде. Мне выпала еще одна сяо, и теперь у меня получается сяо созвездие 2. Самое большое созвездие у меня в принципе, как и Сенсю мне выпадал. Ну, в принципе, логично. Точнее, там и Сенсю, и Рейзер выпадали. О, озвучивание новое.
Clee's a really interesting kid. All the knights seem to like her a lot too. You could even say they spoil her.
I wonder, who makes the better mascot, Paimon or Klee? Oh wait, I forgot. Paimon's not a mascot. Paimon is emergency.
Hey! Paimon knows exactly what you're going to say. That joke stopped being funny a long time ago.
Ты про живую консерву? Так, мне нужно выполнить допы. Бля, мне, короче, такая миссия попалась, и я... Такая охеренная миссия, короче, выпала, и я ее, короче, проебал. Это где надо переговорная, я не знаю почему, но я, короче, делал все по инструкции, а у меня хельчурлы разозлились. И откатить у меня не получилось.
I'll catch up.
А. О, я, кстати, в 7-й уровень репутации Маштада открыл, и теперь у меня вот молитва. Уровень мира вы, по-моему, видели. А, нет, не видели, я его открыл сам. Вот, но у меня 41-й, типа... Да, у меня персонажи не особо прокачаны. Ну, правда, вот, Лиза уже 62, мне надо Эмбер прокачать. И этих... папоротник победить. Вот это мне надо докачать будет. Барбару надо прокачать, Розарию. Ну, я, в принципе, могу его возвысить, но... Не могу, я ничего не могу. А, могу. Ну, а эту я... В принципе, если я буду выбивать Эмбер, я выбью ее тоже, так что... Да. Сянилинь, Янифей, Розария. По-моему, как раз таки одеяние, и вот тут в описании написано, кроме ее одеяния, ничто не напоминает о ее принадлежности церкви. Известно своими холодными речами и резкими поступками, всегда действует одна. По-моему, как раз таки по одеянию она не особо-то и подходит к церкви, потому что так на всех делать жопу и ходить в чулках таких... Ну, слишком откровенный наряд, короче. А еще, мне кажется, лучше бы Розария этими кунаями кидалась, короче. А, ну, хотя, может, она ими и кидается. Хотя не особо что-то и заметил. Так, Диона надо прокачать, Сяо. Я, конечно, тупанул то, что прокачал не Элой, а Сяо, потому что Элой мне надо было важнее прокачать. Потому что я вот это не добуду. Ну, ладно, это... А, здесь же надо с этим... С криогеопостазисом сражаться. Это вообще пиздец. Пипец. Вот, не пиздец, а пипец. Мы же культурные люди. А, ну на нее потрачу. Ну, они, эти обычно нужны, вот чуть-чуть подкопить, а у них опыта много. Вон, да. А, еще я нашел еще один геокул. Но я при вас, по-моему, его как раз и собирал, поэтому вот. Не знаю, зачем их гораздо больше оставлять. Ну ладно. Кстати, что у нас по багровому желанию? О, багровое желание обновилось. Но это я уже самостоятельно, наверное.
Someone needs assistance. Leave it all to me. Get up. Yeah. I'll catch up. Yeah.
Забыл.
All in a day's work.
Так, я, по-моему, здесь видел сундук.
Someone needs assistance.
А нет, показался. Ладно.
Someone needs assistance. I'll catch up. Someone needs assistance.
Кстати, о, мне после выполнения допов хватит на хутау. Это замечательно.
Right. Yeah. Go as well. I must leave no stone unturned. Yeah.
Ай, ладно, пошли дальше. Не понял. А, вот оно. Да ты оставался бы в воде. Было бы все замечательно. Зловещая маска, нормально.
Steady as stone.
Здорово, мем, как дела? Как же кайфово играть не на телефоне. Новая версия YouTube GG, что? Какая новая версия YouTube? YouTube обновили? Я его просто не обновлял с 2017 года.
Leave it all to me. Someone needs to.
Жесть, а что там добавили? Опять какую-то херню. У меня автообновления убраны, потому что у меня слишком много сеть нагружают. Или они поставлены через Wi-Fi, а я Wi-Fi не пользуюсь. Ну, кстати, YouTube Shorts это нормально, что пофиксили, потому что я им чаще пользуюсь, чем обычным YouTube. Там прикольные видео бывают. Мне прикалывает то, что на ютубе, то, что ты его не обновляешь, а он все равно обновляется изнутри. То есть само приложение не обновляется, все баги остаются, но некоторые... это надо же у нас огнем. Все равно добавляется. Интерфейс обновили. Надо будет глянуть скриншоты. Так, победите всех монстров. А это...
Oh no, I'm gonna ruin my glove.
Steady as stone.
Зловещая маска у него выпадает чаще, чем грязная. Какого черта? Должно же быть наоборот. Так, артефакты. А, я его не показывал, мне, короче, это... У Ноэль все артефакты возлюбленная дева, правда, они только пока что фиолетовые, но я ищу золотые, потому что... Вот. Но их пока еще рановато искать, правда, золотые, но... Вот. Ну и все, пока, спокойной ночи. Чимем. Спасибо. А, нет. Так, инструктор, нафиг тебе инструктор. Держи-ка. Так, это на что у нас было? Сила атаки. Сила атаки, сила атаки, сила атаки. Давай-ка теперь я дам на... Даже не знаю на что. Ну, давай защита. Четырехзвездочный персонаж, да, у меня он прокачанный ни на что. Ой, пятизвездочный персонаж. Супер. Заебись, так сказать.
Ad Astra Abbot.
Я не знаю, почему именно этих персонажей выбираю. Пускай будут они.
Ad
еще.
Astra Abbot.
Хоть бы мне сейчас выпало хутау. Нет. Холодное лезвие. Ладно. Так, мне осталось либо 33 крутки, либо 30... Ой, либо 48. Вот. Да. Пизда. Манда. Хуй. Да. Так, у меня. Сколько. О, заготовка для лука. И клобрюх. Первый откуда у меня, второй зачем он мне. Жесть. Это не так смеются. Как будто режут. Сегодня я впервые услышал звонок, который поставил на подругу. Поздравьте меня. Да. Где эту хуйню посмотреть-то можно? Ладно, посмотрим там. Алхимия. Вот 4 штуки могу сделать. Значит, я все потратил, да? Да.
Uh,
69 уровень, вы понимаете? Вот 69. Все, пошли-ка на приближение падающей звезды. Мне, кстати, стало интересно. Я это видел в одном видео и стало интересно сейчас увидеть. Все равно мне эта хрень не нужна, как оказалось. Вот, мне стало интересно. Мне стало интересно прямо сейчас, почему у меня Пэма наконец-таки не красного оттенка. А золотого, как она и должна быть. Все. Теперь мы узнаем, что будет, если карманный телепорт открыть там, потому что этот дворец вроде что-то с ним должно быть. Маша из злейших масок. Я за сегодня выбил 5 масок таких. Прикольно.
What happened? The city gate is swarming with Millilith and the Fatui?
This atmosphere is highly abnormal. It seems as though something big has happened. We should ask around a little, just to be safe.
Ah, you're the consultant to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Mr. Zhongli, the Millilith are watching our every move now. These are desperate times. We mustn't act rashly.
Desperate times?
The Adepti of Joyun Karst are finally on the move.
Do they intend to exercise force?
Most likely. I've heard that some members of the Qixing have already gone to meet them. Well, I say meet, but it's more like they're attempting to stall the... However, both sides were quite obstinate and hit an impasse.
It seems inevitable.
The Adepti do not acknowledge the Qixing. They only acknowledge the contracts of the Geo-Archon. If the two sides come to blows, Liyue Harbor will be in no position to stop them.
Surely the Liyue Qixing are not the sort to give in so easily.
Their boneheadedness is known throughout the lands. Yet it's because of that obstinate...
And what now? How is it that the Fatui have come under fire?
That's all Ningguang's doing. She proclaimed that in these tumultuous times, the Millilith must rein in the actions of the Fatui. Only now do they want to start keeping tabs on us? That's the Qixing for you. Anyway, Mr. Zhongli, you're one of Child's close associates. Please understand that your actions will reflect on us.
It looks like things are about to boil over in Liyue Harbor.
Do you intend to use your neutral identity as an intermediary between both sides? Neither path is an easy one.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Zhongli, we've heard that the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has also been caught up in all of this. They're currently squaring off with the authorities at the gates.
Things are taking a turn for the worse. I'm afraid I must leave now to handle things back at Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Consider your next course of action carefully, traveler. If you're...
Having connections with the Fatui seems to be quite the double-edged sword. So what does Xiangli mean by looking for the fuse?
Богатенький придурок, который завалил на деньгах.
Oh, Paimon gets it. If there's anyone that wants to see the whole city turned upside down, it's definitely him.
Тарталья. По сюжету его и не называли еще так, по-моему. Вот только Чельдом.
He must be waiting for the moment when no one is watching to do something really big. But where could we find him now? Where would he go at a time like this?
Так вот, что такое золотая палата. Ёб твою мать, я пытался понять. Интересно, здесь есть сундуки? Под 69-й. Это потому что у него уровень мира такой или чё? Блять, ну мне лень их качать. Качать.
Wow! This is the Golden House? It looked impressive enough from the outside, but who would have guessed that it was even fancier on the inside? And so full of Mora. This is where all of Tibet's Mora is minted, right? In that case, maybe they won't notice if a few Mora go missing. Oh, so it's a trap! Tricky, tricky. Good thing Paimon's got you here. But even if we can't take any, we can still have a... Or better yet, take a nap on top of a mountain of Mora. It's like a dream come true. Oh, right. Back to business. It's quiet. Too quiet. Surely someone's gotta be guarding something as important as the Exuvia. Huh? Look! What happened here? Uh-oh. Paimon smells trouble. Quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is all right.
Подожди-ка, я только сегодня видел видео с вот этим вот с дверью. Я что, сейчас с Тартальей буду сражаться? Заебись.
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here?
Huh? Who's there?
Тарталья.
If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way. Although I'm deeply grateful to you that I was able to effortlessly find this secret location, don't you think that trying to stop me now would just be wasted effort? Stopping the Mora Mints, hiding away the Exuvia. The Chising are really pulling out all the stops this time.
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia all along?
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, it's my... She will get that which she desires. I'm not asking for your blessing, and there's nothing you can do to stop. The time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have skipped that stage to begin with. But I'm willing to do as the Tsaritsa deems fit. Either way, we now come to my favorite part. A simple pleasure, and one that I am oh so delighted to be sharing with you. The battle.
Схватки. Да, с Тартальей.
So you're the type that goes looking for trouble, huh?
You
Ты
could say
недооцениваешь мою мощь.
When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left the scene once her mission was accomplished. Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the knights to come running towards the sound of battle now, would she?
Сердце Венди, точно.
When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes, and consider the consequences of her actions. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a harbinger lies in crossing blades with strong opponents.
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen again!
Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. I won't kill you, Traveler. I'll just play along, to feel the thrill of battle.
Был бы прикол, если бы у меня был бы, короче, Тарталья, я бы за Тарталью сражался против Тартальи.
Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams. But hey, try to relish the fight anyway, because if you ask me, without that, what else is there?
Бой с тенью. Хули ты ржешь, блядь. Я тебя победить смогу. Я тебя выебу в жопу, блядь, и ты, сука, станешь содержанкой, блядь.
Fighting talk, I love it. Now let's see you live up to it. Chance is hard to come by, so show me all you've got. So very few ever get the chance to square off with the Fatui Harbinger. So come now, amuse me, and don't you dare disappoint.
Someone needs assistance. Steady as stone. Let's sparkle.
No one escapes my sight.
Barbados, guide us.
Пиздец, он сейчас как огребает. Ты чё, охуел, нахуй? Пиздец, я его быстро выебал. Давай. Это что за хуйня? Рыба? Тартана. Ай, думаешь, меня это остановит? Я вот так вот сделаю. Я у него повышенный урон от этого электричества.
No wonder Senora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out. Brace yourself. This is about to get tough. Now, show me what you can do against the might of a harbinger.
Да, я уже, во-первых, я сначала разочаровался, а во-вторых, схуя ли у него есть электро...
No use hiding back there.
Не, его и так же легко выебать.
You've got some skills.
I swear by my sword.
My.
All you do is run. No use hiding back there. I'll crush you.
I missed a spot.
This.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Tide. All you do is run. No use hiding back there. Break.
Someone needs assistance. Steady as stone. catch up.
Не, я его все равно быстро выебываю. Мне гипостазис, короче, быстрее убивает, чем он.
Leave it all to me.
И все. Ай.
Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get. Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing us to get close to the Exuvia!
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected. Well then, I'll be taking more Axis Gnosis now. I see. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
Чего я... чё с ним? Чего, блять? А ты можешь во время игры за тебя так делать? Кто ты на? Пиздец.
This is going to cost you.
Когда я успел сердце забрать? Или ей... Ой. Пайман. Живи. Ладно, признаюсь, был неправ.
I'll catch up.
You got to the Gnosis ahead of me, didn't you? Did you simply move faster?
Блять. Если его и так же можно будет видеть. Ладно, это не мешает тебе ебать. Он слишком много болтает. Тот, кто много болтает, тот пизды получает.
Leave it all to me.
Не, ну музыка за счет. Только я не понял, почему я одновременно владел и тип... Так, блядь. Хули я урон нанес ему.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Die here.
Leave it all to me.
Shatter!
Не, ну мне нравится то, что у него 3 фазы, ну, блядь, и не слишком легкие. Я даже не стараюсь.
Someone needs assistance. I must leave no stone unturned. Go as one.
Твою мышь. У меня огонь упал.
Steady as stone. Hip hop. Hip hop. Get. Go as one. I must leave no stone unturned.
Где?
Looks like I got
Ай,
carried
сука,
away.
Лизу убил. Тварь. Ай, похуй.
Leave it all to me.
Я даже еду не буду использовать, кроме как восстановления ХП. То, что ты недостоин. Чтобы... Блять. Хули ты творишь?
I'll catch up. Go as one. Ha! Steady as stone.
Тебя сейчас моя Ноэль как выебет, блять. Мечом, рукояткой, блять. Вот я тебе говорил, Ноэль тебя выебет, блять. О, сука.
Some you win, and some you lose.
Look! Child's back to normal again.
Well then, it seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my body. And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis, no matter where it had been taken.
That's what we've been trying to tell you. We didn't take it.
Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Senora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be?
Потому что я постоянно пьянулся.
You already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eyes. But if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend, even if our friendship can only be shown in battle against one another.
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. My quest still, given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. Perhaps it was never... In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just...
What? So you mean that...
Yes, it appears so. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well versed in little maneuvers beyond the boundary. As such, we must now look to our...
backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this, for the weak will be swept away in the process. The truth is, the world belongs to those who pursue strength. I seldom... Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui harbingers. Children must all learn to eat their vegetables sometime.
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyan's stone forest.
A god?
Osial, overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the Geor Archon in the Archon War, and who has remained pinned beneath the waves by the Geor... If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, defenseless without the... Do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch the ensuing destruction?
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago. How can an ancient god appear in a world now overseen by the Seven?
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Ай.
Hey, those are sigils of permission. Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, and is large. But knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo Archon to show its hand, but you as well, that...
Ой, сука, еще одно что-то сражение.
Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on? If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known. Did we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex still in the sea? It hasn't just...
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with the Chising. Is the fighting over?
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now. And you...
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Lila? Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pin in Paimon's...
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's, which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is... not necessarily.
What? Wait, all of you are supposed to be the Guardians of Lilith. Can't you think of something?
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong Ballista, for what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista into an...
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be... So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend... We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begins now. Yep.
Ё-моё. А, весь Льюи в воде. Ё-моё. Красиво.
The Fatui! They're attacking the Guizhong Ballista!
The three Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work.
All able Millilith, with me!
А, это подземелье точно.
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you? One wishes to witness.
Go as planned!
You're in for a little Leave it all to me.
Miscalculated.
That is Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful.
Не, мне кажется, лучше бы мне еще и ЦЦМ бы дали в качестве. Ай-яй-яй, больно.
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
No escape! I swear. You did the ancient god's attacking again! There are so many Fatui too! We can't
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children?
Huh?
Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
This is adeptal energy! That light from your body, it's like the tiny giant karst! Whoa!
Откуда?
It's Madam Ping's shockwave! This granny's really strong!
Ooh! Ой!
Who is one?
My duty. Let's not waste it.
Yeah.
This isn't good.
Cold cut.
You're in for a little shock. Blitz.
Вот оно, благословение адептов.
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by the wayside and
О,
fight with
выживательная
all your
способность
might.
возросла.
I too did this during the Archon War.
А,
So this is what Ganya's like in a fight.
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast.
где враги? Да, скорость вы мне, конечно, дали, но у меня нет врагов.
I'll catch up. Someone needs assistance.
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Someone needs assistance.
Ой, это вот так быстро перезаряжать силы, так классно.
Exercise caution. I fear that the god's power has reached its peak.
Мощь большинства.
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
Честно, я нихуя не понимаю, что происходит. Пусть будет так. Но Наэлька моя справляется, и это хорошо. А это, сука, меня заморозили.
Steady as stone.
По идее, я должен был, наверное, выбирать. Но это, по идее, не было, так что...
The Fatui's numbers are thinning!
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
А все, мне 20 секунд, я выиграл. Бля, как... Я, сука, кадр не успел сделать красивый. Выстрелите еще раз.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Что за Наруто?
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
Как знал то, что поставил там телепорт?
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
You seem tired.
You seem tired.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor...
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies before you now. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue Qixing. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition.
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some... Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens.
Are you questioning our means of
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebears, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I awoke.
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides, because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both, and that nothing good would come of it.
Each of the 7 nations has...
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have, so why not see for yourselves?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millilith. I have come to extend my thanks to... I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces were not as badly battered as I feared we might be. Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti this day.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just beat that big monster?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the...
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millilith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks and loads of things. Thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please, come visit us for the next lantern rite.
О, морские фонари.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. Oh.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve... Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, conqueror of demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. The city of Liyue has changed much after our long separation. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again... Fair enough. Away we
Since we Adepti have consensus, Then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply exploit their power once we depart?
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. All's well that ends well, huh? Oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace and all, but we're forgetting one child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis, but we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our own. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the... Hyman doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adeptiless rite of parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshen Funeral Parlor.
Не, ну чель тут еще козел, блядь. Его выебали жопу раз, выебали в жопу два. Ух, выебали в жопу 3. И все равно, блядь, напасть. Пидорас. Мне кажется, это лучше сделать с нашим персонажем. Мне жалко то, что в катсцене не было моего красивенького меча.
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangsheng Funeral Parlor isn't in the best state to receive guests.
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please tell him we're here?
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to Northland Bank.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the Fatui? Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this, we had better go and make sure that
Я, кажется, крышу перепутал.
You call this cooperation between Harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? I'm sure you... Oh, it seems that some of your...
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And... you!
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of Bards, was it? Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something precious was snatched away from you.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map.
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had any... Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, the real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind. The Gnosis, please.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That will...
Эй! Чего?
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of Chiao? No, wait! That's an exciting twist and all, but what?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For it is a matter solely...
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you and splat! This big dragon...
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was bound to boil over.
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that as you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. It is now 3,700 years ago that I founded Liyue, together with even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself that cracks had not been until one drizzly day. As I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers. I stood motionless among the crowds. But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age. So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their roles together on the stage that was Liyue. That's right. Which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine powers to bring...
Of course. And it would have been all too easy for him, too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when faced with the death...
In the end, the resolution to all that... Take the Adepti, for instance. Owing to their years of seclusion, they were the least informed. Yet when faced with a crisis, they commendably showed the greatest amount of restraint possible. Not only did they manage to cooperate with the Qixing, but in the end, they even made efforts to understand the... Credit is also due to Senora, the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract. At my request, she kept everything she knew in strict confidence. This meant I could remain as Zhongli, even having the chance to fulfill the age-old traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. All of these things turned out as I had planned. There is only one thing that I had not anticipated. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti. To come to the defense of... They seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue as divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death.
Huh? That doesn't sound...
On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also...
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if anything. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo Archon.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liyue. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed.
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zapoljarny Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa.
Ah, fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Просто так отдать сердце Бога.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us,
Она
a
криворукон?
good trade is a fair trade. Paimon has no idea what could...
Realistically speaking, there is no such thing.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. My agreement with the Cryo Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo Archon. My contract to end. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the... Uncover that answer for yourself in your future journey.
Ладно.
Paimon can't absorb so much information. So Zhongli, what sort of contract did you sign with the Cryo Archon?
One of the clauses of our contract was not to divulge...
You're so...
Ладно. А зачем она собирает сердца?
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000...
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the...
Say, do you think the person who assassinated...
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm... Still, what sort of...
Ah, forget it.
Oh, well, since we're going through with this... So Rex Lapis is really... Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? You know what I think? I don't think there's only one real possibility in my...
Fatui? They certainly are very...
Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui catch you in their sights, Rex Lapis won't...
Ладно.
Hear ye all! The Chi sings words. Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to dust. Gods and Adepti live glorious lives, but both light and shadow have their season. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis was having been thwarted in his trial. Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people of Liyue to grieve not, and nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Qixing's announcement said. So that's how they're spinning it. Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murder? Could the Qixing already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his gnosis changed hands? Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the right...
Малышка Паймон.
Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something? Are their speeches over?
А третью ты не назвала. Молодец.
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking our way!
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young.
The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price. You deserve that much.
Whoa!
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
Она заговорила. Это, по-моему, первый раз с начала игры, где она заговорила. О боже. А что мне надо сделать? Как принять?
The cleanup of the premises, managing the crowds as they exit, making an account of the rite. There's much that remains to be done.
Поговорить.
Why, were you just trying to look cool earlier, or are you really that selfless? If you were looking for someone, you could have just told me that in private.
Roping you in was possibly the most masterful move we could have made. I believe that future generations will say so too when our deeds come up for their review.
И в воду.
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this! emotions. And here you are looking all relaxed.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you.
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round...
You're right. I do like the Mora.
But why would Morax like...
As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon. So I had to...
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending, but since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had...
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have... In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight. As well, the Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the streets of Liyue with you. That is true. But there is no journey that does not end.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is presently... Yes, the nation has been closed by the Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before. Raiden?
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the Shogun of Inazuma, people call her the Raiden Shogun.
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always... Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment this is what visions are. Magical foci. But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the gods?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings that
Whoa, that's hot.
The Animo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though the fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away, knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of, 7 ideals for 7 gods. And of these, All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? Ah, that was a good one. Failing a divine trial. That said, the reason why the Qixing were so eager to resolve the incident and stop pursuing the culprit, I hinted as much. How did I accomplish that, you ask? Have you ever heard of this particularly... All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
Yeah, about that. Before the Qixing made their announcement, we listened to a lot of people talking on the way. Most of them put the blame for everything on Child.
These are indeed false accusations. But it remains undeniably true that Child did send people to the Jade Chamber to prevent the Adepti, and I've heard that Ningguang is busy milking that for all it's worth on the foreign relations front at the moment, browbeating the envoys of the Fatui. Ha! Those poor Snezhnayan diplomats. If it were not for Child's exalted position as a harbinger. All right then. Was there anything else you wished to know? The time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, Kuching is absolutely right now. Though I did laud Ningguang's desire for power, believing this to be a good thing, and thought as a matter of course that she must have been behind the Qixing's plan to take governing power over Liyue from the hands of the gods and Adepti. Could the original person who brought up the idea of seizing power have been... All right then. Was there anything else you wished to know?
That's right. Zhongli, now that you don't have your gnosis, what's going to happen to all the Morin since Morax is dead? Also, isn't the Golden House the only mint in the entire continent? Will it even continue to...
The Mora present now will not vanish. But the Golden House will indeed have to cease operations for a lengthy period of time, since creating more...
This is terrible! We're all about to run out of Mora!
Yes, this is indeed a major issue from... Well, I suppose we'll just leave such...
Then, did you at least set some private funds aside for yourself?
Oh, a private fund.
What's a shame?
It's a shame that I didn't think of it at the time. All right then. Was there anything else you wished to know?
К сожалению, я забыл сделать личное сбережение. Жиза.
Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside this closed nation.
Приближение новой звезды закончили. Чайник и... Не, для меня большой шок был то, что героиня заговорила наконец-таки хоть. Сколько доп. Заданий. Еще больше заданий. Два нужно, но Илья открыл. Все созвездия. Правда, это главное героиня, но и ладно. Ладно, мне это лень читать. Так, во-первых, я беру все персонажи.
We may leave at any time.
Сколько? 11? 5 на тебя. 5 на тебя. И 1 на тебя. А если я вот это вообще ничего не... Да. Ой, этот... Да, вот здесь еще очень много. Да почти все открылось. И Олу, Хутао, Сяо, Беда Ганью, Джунли, Венти, Мон, это у меня есть. Это я еще Монштадт не закончил.
Children, come, come.
Oh, what is it, Granny? Need any help?
Oh, no. You've done so much for... In fact, my old friends and I have been putting our heads...
A gift? For Paimon?
Oh, child, you are so very modest. Uncommonly so, even. But you mustn't decline this gift. When you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, I heard your little friend mention that you often camp out in the wilds. That simply won't do, especially since I am... Fortunately, I have not yet grown so old as to see my subspace creation abilities at... Oh! Did my friends never mention that to you? Well then, I will not go into too much detail, but subspace creation is the ability... The teapot that you entered previously was a little trinket created using that ability.
So, in the eyes of an adeptus, creating a magic...
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of one's own. Rex Lapis, on the other hand, moved mountains and seas. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift that I have prepared for you just requires a few final materials to add the finishing touch.
That's right! Finding stuff's what we're good at, after all.
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no need for you to go running hither and thither. What's more, I doubt that you would know how to find the materials I am searching for. Some of them, well, for starters, I require some shimmer soil from the banks of Dihua Marsh. Back in the day, you would have to dig downward, following the roots of the glazed lilies, and... if you were lucky enough, you just might find... But almost no one has been able to find shimmer soil in this manner since Dihua Marsh came to be the way it is. Even more difficult to find is smaragdus jadeite, which must be chiseled from the rock of the chasm. Or so it used to be. In any case, smaragdus jadeite is an adepti treasure, and the adeptal power within is not something that most humans can withstand. Extended contact with it is, in fact, harmful. Goodness knows if that child will succeed.
Well, since you're an adept...
Yes. I suppose she does count as an adeptus.
She counts? How come there are so many Adepti in Liyue Harbor? We seem to bump into them all the time. It feels like even when you...
Oh, maybe so. Who can say? A fair few of my...
I'm back, Granny. Oh, I don't believe we've met.
Ah, allow me to do the honors.
Ой, Янфей,
This
она у меня
child
есть.
here, Yanfei, I believe you've already heard of the traveler and her...
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written about you in the Milliliths. You became one of Liyue's most wanted after the Millilith marked you as a suspect following the incident at the Rite of Dissension. After which, you fought off the Millilith at Julian Kart before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates, and subsequently being cleared of any and all suspicion by the Chising. What a shame.
Очень
A
жаль.
shame that we didn't meet sooner. If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion immediately, but it certainly would have been less. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yanfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal problem? You can come right... Oh, yes, here's my business card. You'll find it has my contact details and office address. Keep it handy. If you have an urgent issue, just leave me a note at this address. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I offer a very generous discount for first-time customers.
All right, Yanfei, all right. Let's get to the business at hand. I do not think these two are in... You'll have to excuse Yanfei. She's always been like this. Ever the talkative one.
Paimon was gonna ask the same question.
An Adeptus? I guess. Kinda. My old man said he was one anyway. He mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex Lapis for a long old time. And then after that was all over, they had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey, leaving me with Granny here.
Well, that's a bit casual for an Adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign solemn contracts to...
Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis, and that he was fine with it. Even contributed towards the wedding gift, apparently. Anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So, Granny, I've gotten a hold of most of
То
the
есть у
stuff
меня
you
есть
asked
один из
for,
адептов.
except
Супер.
for Smaragdus Jadeite. I couldn't find any at all. The chasm's been sealed off, and there's just no way in. Couldn't secure any documentation either. Looks like the Ministry of Civil Affairs...
Is that so? Yanfei, are you sure you can't find some other way? They have...
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times already. Well, the chasm's definitely a no-go, but there's still a chance... Hold on.
Whoa, that's a really thick book.
Commercial consultancy. Or... Snezhnaya? Ah, found him. Crossel. A Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal queries on certain
Они
articles
точно
in
из
the legal
России, эти
codices.
фатуи.
If my memory serves, he mentioned that he was considering acquiring some Smaragdus Jadeite to make hairpins, and wanted to know if there were any legal ramifications that he should be aware of. Said he was... So, I guess I'll go look for him. With any luck, he'll have gotten his hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite, or might... Oh, you want to join me? I suppose that's no problem, but it's best if you just stand by and watch. If you try to get involved, you'll only risk...
Wow, an Adeptus imploring us to avoid incurring legal... Best we be a little more careful than usual.
Кстати, мы хотели проверить телепорт. Охуенно! 5 доп. Заданий. Супер. 6. Нет, 5.
Hello, Mr. Crossell.
Oh, good, very good. All thanks to your advice.
You're too kind. I was simply doing my job. Now, I believe that the...
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, in the end I did acquire a small piece. Miss Yanfei, might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must apologize, I've already rented them out to a lady named Chiao.
Wait, isn't Smaragdus jadeite really rare? Aren't you worried about the hairpins getting damaged or...
No, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I signed a The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses or damages the item in question, she must compensate me for its full original value. In return, I included a clause that guarantees the Smaragdus jadeite is genuine, with a penalty of 10 times the item's value payable by me to Ms. Jiqiao in the event that it is shown to be a fake.
Guaranteed genuine, with 10 times the value payable if this claim is shown to be false.
Of course. This way, both the client and I have the assurance we need to ensure fair...
In that case, might you know where Miss Chow lives? We'd like to pay her a visit.
Oh, of course. She wrote her address down when we signed our contract. Here...
Thanks a lot, Mr. Crossell. We'll be off now.
Нормально зашел в рикшу.
Oh, whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me.
How do you do, Miss Chow? We understand. My associates and I are very...
The hairpins. I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right by my side, and I hadn't even worn... I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value... My family is in the ore business, too. But business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed off. We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around. So we've been having to A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants I know of will be there. I need this opportunity to mingle and discuss price. That's what the hairpins were for, to keep up appearances. I can't have them looking down on, but now that I've lost the hairpins...
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of déjà vu?
Здесь я обычно говорю, я помню.
Would you really? I sent a commission to the Adventurers Guild, but I haven't heard anything back from them yet.
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Miss Chow, would you let me...
Huh? Well, I mean...
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? Maybe she can help Jiqiao somehow. True. Though surely there must be a...
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you must... Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of... And given the rarity of Smaragdus jadeite, I fear that the final amount of compensation may end up being
even higher. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragdus jadeite.
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are lost. Whichever way you look at it, we've got to start by finding those hairpins.
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need...
Please. Please, Don't trouble yourselves over this. The fact is, however much it is, I will have to pay it. My family are merchants, after all. It's vital that we keep our word. Now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep Crossell in the dark any longer.
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the most sensible course of action. So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow. When you first touched the hairpins...
What did I feel? Well, I remember that the gemstone... My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past, so...
Smooth to the touch. No, it's nothing. I just need to re-examine a few things.
Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. You lost them? Are you serious? Do you have...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Truly, I am. I'll pay the...
Mora! Do you have any idea what I had to go through? I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back. Since Miss Yanfei is here, I suppose we can just...
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Ah, yes. And if I may, it was in fact genuine smaragdus jadeite inlaid into the hairpins, correct?
Of course. Genuine article guaranteed.
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by Mr. Chow in compensation.
Thank you very much. How could she lose my hairpins?
Она
She's gonna pay every last...
Looks like I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Please wait, Mr. Chow. I have something to discuss with you. It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find somewhere that we can sit and talk and...
Все-таки 6.
Miss Yanfei, what is this about?
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the Orin laid on those hairpins...
What do you mean?
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't know if Granny told you this, but smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated elemental energy. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, they could even experience a dramatic change of personality. It most certainly would not be... Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel unwell while the hair...
No, not at all.
Now that is strange. I noticed earlier that there were elements... If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the smaragdus...
If that's the case, we should go confront him right now!
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. Eventually, he would find some art, and then he'd throw the smaragdus jadeite into the sea the moment we were gone. After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do actually still exist.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this...
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow.
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than a certain...
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, I require a written contract. Any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter...
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now write your address here, and I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you...
This contract has so many pages!
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite... I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before.
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask,
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of... Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter. But either way, it's a lead. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage... I won't... But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to... Where can we... Ah! I've got it! Let's pay a visit to Chateau. If Mr. Crossell had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly have been his first choice.
Why, hello there, honored customer.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnayan merchant named Crossell enlisted your ore processing services recently by any...
A Snezhnayan merchant... I do remember that. He brought me... That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus Jadeite or not. But he was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought.
Do you have any leftover...
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so...
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Huh? If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross-sections and patterning suggest... Yes! It's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus Jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus
Is that so? Well, we might as well... So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards?
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time. These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very... There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to and I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of having...
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr.
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Try your luck betting on Jade? Miss Yanfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire,
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store was in fact...
yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It says quite clearly, 1 chunk Smaragdus Jadeite, uncut.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record?
Of course.
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the...
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there's...
With this hard evidence to back us up, Crossell won't dare try...
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Aha! Got it! Singxi. She often helps people...
Well, that was quick.
Because lots of people... As you know, legal at the amendments made by... As such, legal advice...
So you helped them...
Yes, well, that's no... You sound surprised. Knowing the... Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading...
Again, with that casual tone...
Well, that's that then.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Miss Yenfei, it's you.
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions. Has a merchant by the name of Crossel asked you to put him in contact with...
Crossel? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yeah, he came to me with a chunk of something he called Smaragdus Jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewel. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed...
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found.
Miss Inksy, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossel commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he...
Yes, I'm sure of it. Mr. Crossel wasn't very familiar with the... I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself. The item is called The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite. The document even has the...
Thank you, Sinksy.
Sure. It isn't serving much purpose here anyway.
Nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with...
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one...
The weirdo with the snake around his neck?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus... Once we have this final piece of...
Someone needs assistance.
Семь даже. А нет, не 7. Или нет, все же 7.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, and if it isn't Miss Yenfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with
Smaragdus Jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about the 7 mountain treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case scenario, they'll suffer... Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting...
That is indeed the case. If you would be...
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed... But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to... I wonder, Miss Yenfei, if you're pressing...
You needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baizhu. Thank you for penning us that document. I'll make...
You're too kind.
That Baizhu guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossel.
Someone needs assistance.
А, нет, все-таки 7, потому что вот здесь. Да? А нет, здесь ничего нет. Ну и ладно.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation?
Yes. My investigation is indeed concluded.
Wonderful. Well then, please.
Of course. Mr. Crossel, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been...
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, The substance claimed to be Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus Jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus Nephrite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable—
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame— I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus Jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hair—
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, please produce the evidence in question. This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus Jadeite and Smaragdus Nephrite. How does this prove it? In any case, Smaragdus Nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus Jadeite. So I had him cut away the Nephrite, he returned the valuable Jadeite core to me, and some Nephrite—
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And—
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all.
Hard evidence, something legally binding. We have just the thing. Show him, Traveler.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all. It shows that the ore inlaid on the pins is indeed Smaragdus.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And this guy's—
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the hairpin—
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall— Traveler, would you do the honors? This shall serve as—
What's this?
Smaragdus Jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. Sustained contact with Smaragdus Jadeite over a prolonged period will— Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus Jadeite?
I had—
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous— I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil Affairs. However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient, considering that, as you say, you were ignorant of— Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over to the Ministry. I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait!
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear, Mr. Crossell. But if—
Huh? No,
aren't actually inlaid with genuine— You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have— Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
He's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she's a different person.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had— But I'm a victim in all of this, too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus. But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone— That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus Nephrite. I kept the real Smaragdus Jadeite in a specially made box. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Chichao lost the hairpins after I rented them out to her.
Exactly! If they—
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus Jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this life—
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client. According to the contract—
10 times?
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that—
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus Jadeite!
There's no need. Even if the Smaragdus Jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not.
Ms. Jichao.
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite, why don't you give it to me and—
What? But all right then.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn this Smaragdus jadeite over to you.
Well, that's not quite how the rules—
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yunfei. When you have the time, I'll be sure to visit and—
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if I may confirm this again, Mr. Chow, have you—
Well, yeah—
Well then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so?
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I'd like to talk business for a second if I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and if we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice—
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends well, eh?
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place. Even though
the right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that the rented item was nowhere near worth what the vendor had claimed it to be was the more efficient solution. An Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs—
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit. I bet she's—
Ну я же обладаю глазом бога, логично, я могу делать все, что угодно.
You've returned. How did it go? Good, good. Then we have all the material.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients waiting.
Oh, you. All right, then. Go see to your—
I'm off then. Bye! Oh, yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business. I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law, come find me directly. Regulars get discounts, too.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave...
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
Жиза тоже.
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Her father was hardly... Indeed she is. Liyue has changed. Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but Liyue is not the same place I once knew. All right, then. Let us speak of this no more. Back on top.
Oh, Paimon's so excited! How is it?
It is but a single teapot. It shan't... There we
Какой
go.
огромный чайник.
This serenity pot. Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish.
Wait a minute, Granny! How exactly are we
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arrived.
Это я потом, получается, буду делать. Ладно. Давайте-ка остров.
Leave it to me.
Лагает-то как?
Wow! This teapot seems even bigger inside than Madame Ping's. There's even... But there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Hey! There's a perfectly good house right over there! What? Still. What? Oh, wait a second. What is that?
О! Кто ты?
Well, it seems that we have a visit. It's a huge finch! Excuse me, I am not a finch. I am a hang on a moment. Oh, call me. I suppose you mean... So you're the little helper Madame Ping mentioned? Madame Ping? Oh, you must mean Ping. Yes, you may leave all matters regarding the upkeep of this. Your journey may be far from over. But at least this way, though it is the Adepti who create realms such as this, they generally do not have the time of day to attend. Thus, we teapot spirits were created to... You may consider me a butler, if you will. Now, allow me to explain. Have you any blueprints on you? Specific. As long as you have a blueprint, you can refashion this realm however you please. Blueprints? Oh, that's right! Yes, these are the blueprints I'm just commit the image of the objects to memory and prepare it. Then simply release the thought from your mind and the object in the blue. Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole city inside. I doubt it. A golden-eyed adept, he said that even though subspace creation is a product of adeptal power, this world is not a true one after all. It provides merely a moment of brief respite from the mortal... A golden-eyed adeptus? I hardly remember myself. What's more, I have never... Well, let's not dwell on that. Have a look around if there's anything you would like to...
То есть у меня сейчас это да ладно. Что в течение безмятежности утешить применить и призвать его за... Ага, что в эти...
Whenever you need me, I'll be there.
Могут применить, призвать его, а затем воздействие священника. Клинки также могут открыть меню карты и переместиться на любую точку телепортации, чтобы тут же покинуть чайник.
Leave it to me. All of it. Whatever it is. What exactly is it? I didn't quite catch your request.
Давайте я лиру поставлю. А, можно я? Давайте я здесь лиру поставлю. В этой игре есть все, блин. Это у нас что? А, это у нас... Мне кажется, это у нас должно стоять где-то... Вот. Вот здесь. Вот так вот. А это я наоборот только даже при... Ё-моё. Как тут все сложно. Где-то расстановка мебели. Это винокурня? А нет. Это библиотека. Что-то... Не, что-то какое-то знакомое помещение. Как красиво. Кот? Надо вот так вот, да. Сложно и непонятно. Нормально.
Maybe you're not used to the place at the moment, but once you've materialized enough rooms and...
60. За это каждый дает 60, Диман, сколько часов это будет делаться? Реально Sims, реально в этой игре есть все. Ладно.
If you ever have any questions about the...
Хоть бы мне сейчас выпало хутау. Но мне шиш, да? Да. Рогатка. Так, осталось 47. Круто, это если... Либо 32, либо 47. Леру надо будет потом рядом с домом поставить. Охуеть меня тут. А, это не то. Это я получал во время этого ивента.
Whenever you need me, I'll be there.
Сколько монолита? У меня сейчас архив обновился. А, не, Child. Золотая палата. О, серьезно? Я с этим абсолютником могу еще раз сражаться. Супер. Опять. Тогда давайте-ка вот сюда.
Leave it to me. All of it. Whatever it is. What exactly is it? I didn't quite catch your request.
Вот, короче, мы на этом будем заканчивать с вами. С вами был я, Рока. Всем удачи и всем пока. Пока.